Hi and welcome back. It's Alexandra Gold here, and in this video we're going to talk about finding your business purpose. Now, if you know my work, I'm also known as a woman on purpose, and I have a women's empowerment for life and business purpose business. I'm stepping out, so I'm making this more available because my background is from theatre and music, so I'm incorporating all of this, the empowerment, the purposeful life and business work, and my stage work, and putting it together for the Entrepreneur Stage, which is my new project. But for this purpose, I want to show you how to find your business purpose. And this also works for life. So how do you find your life purpose? And for some of you, that will be your own business. And I'm hoping for a lot of you, it will be your own business, because I truly believe that entrepreneurs will save the world and make it a better place. So it's really quite simple, but you can take a long time to get to it. So this is just the quick version of trying to think about the questions that you need to ask yourself. And what I can't state more prophetically is be honest with yourself and be really truthful about what it is you love. Because if you're not honest, then the wrong things will come out. And then you won't feel the passion, and then you won't feel the determination, and you won't have the purposeful draw which actually just pulls you through the times, the bad times that you need to get through in life or as an entrepreneur. So really, really think about the questions that I'm going to ask you. I've got this in my book as well, so I'm going to go through a few of the questions that I have in here. But essentially what you're looking at is all the skills that you have, or the experience that you have, or the passions that you have, and the education you have. And what you're trying to do is to fill that place that's empty, because only you can do that. And center stage is where your passion meets your purpose to power you into prosperity. So it's basically what people need and what people will pay for. And I'm sorry, my dog is snoring in the background, but there you go. So what I want you to think about here are skills that you've acquired. Now, they may not always be the ones that you want to keep hold of, but I want you to think about those as well, because when you're doing this process, you seem to go, oh, this is what I really want to do, so I'll forget all those things that I really didn't like. But I used to hate sales, and I've done a couple of direct selling jobs. I loved it when I was an entrepreneur and I was younger, and I used to sell jewelry in markets. Loved that. But then when I took that sales knowledge and tried to sell air or space in a magazine or at an event, that I really didn't love, because I didn't feel the passion about it. Now, when I was meant to sell tickets for a theatre event, or for an event that was raising money for charity, that I could do. But because I had associated the negative feelings with the selling in the bit that I didn't like, I never actually thought of sales as a skill. But it's also a service. If you're selling something that people need, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with selling something that people need. In fact, you're doing them a disservice if you don't offer them the product, service, whatever it is. You are actually doing a disservice to themselves and to you. So think about that when you're thinking about the question. So what skills do you have? And these can come from life, from business, from experiences that you've had. You have, if you're a volunteer at something, that's still a skill when you've learned to volunteer. What people skills do you have? What are you good at? What could you get better at? And when you're finding out your purpose, it doesn't mean that you have to know everything all at once, but you can decide where you want to go and start at the beginning. I always believe in starting at the beginning, but it's always good to dream as well. Think of the bigger picture, come back in, see where you are now, and then draw a path from there to here. And I'll go through that in the next video when I'm talking about your Show Me the Money map, when we're talking about active income, passive income, and where we all want to get to is that portfolio income, all of which can change at any instant. So this is a really good process, regardless of whether you want to start your own business or not, just to become more self-aware of what you want in life and what you can do. So what experiences do you have? Now, for some people, this might be their worst experience that could lead them to share the story of where they are now. Because I come from a theatre background, I always thought my theatre work was something different. But we all have stories, and we all have that crux of the story where life changes. We have lots of them. But for this purpose, I want you to think about the big one. Why are you here now? What feelings have you got, and what made that happen? And for some of you, it might just be a small decision that you woke up one day, had your morning coffee, thought, I cannot take the commute any longer. That's it, I'm changing my life. It may just be as simple as that. But what is that experience that has led you to your story? And then you've got all the different experiences that can be part of your your steps to success anyway, and can be little stories that will help you explain your journey eventually when you decide to put your work out into the world. And that doesn't matter whether it's a product or a business. Everything has a story. So what experiences have you had, and what experience do you have? So for me, I put away any thoughts of ever going back on stage, and I thought, I'll just put this into my business and just do webinars and videos. But last year I actually did get back on stage again, and I started singing again, which are things that I wrote about in this book. So I do believe in writing your future life. I wrote about them in there, telling you the best times in my life, and they have come true. So this is really important to think about it and make it happen. Then you're open to the possibilities. You're making yourself aware of these things. And you know, when serendipity happens, when you're waiting for a bus and three come along, that sort of thing. These things happen when you've taken the time to understand yourself. So it's all about self-awareness. So as I said, I love the theatre and music. My passions were theatre and music. I thought I would just be a speaker, but I'm back on stage and I'm incorporating this all into my work now. But I wouldn't have even considered it if I hadn't gone through this process. So what are your passions, and what would you like to incorporate in your life? And you don't need to tell anybody. This is for you. This is for you to go to. But try to make what all of these things come together in a way that you will be, one, profitable and able to start now, but so that you have a general idea of where you're going. This is just to steer you in the right direction, and you have to give yourself permission to grow. So you look at your education, and your education never stops. You're learning every single day. So it's all the education that you have, and I'm not just talking about education at school. We're talking about vocational, education, like I did my theatre and music studies, but then I gave them up. So I don't sing. I never studied music as an instrument, but I was a singer, and I always wrote my own lyrics. So I built my business by allowing myself to write lyrics again, which are now poetry. Some of them do come out as songs, but I allowed myself to think about the education that I'd had and how that had worked, and things that you think may not be possible, you can incorporate back into your life. Who would have thought that you could make a business from lead magnets of poetry? Now, poems don't even, you try and get a book deal for poems, they just don't happen. They're just, sorry, we don't do poetry. But I managed to create a business out of it, and I've got a pretty hefty following. So I can promise you that when you do this process, it really does work. So if you're involved in, say, I know I've talked about theatre, but everybody talks about the fitness industry. So I'm going to talk about the theatre industry and the arts and education, because it's something that I thought I'd given up forever. And this is what I'm saying. It's about whatever you love. If I was good at judo when I was a kid, and I thought I'd really like to get into fitness now, but and I love judo, but I can't do it. I haven't done it for 20 years. Yes, you can. And another thing I did last year is I've never done anything for fitness, and I got strong last year. I did things that I'd never ever dreamed that anybody would be able to show me, and I did them. I did burpees and things and planky things and everything. I'm not strong now this year, but last year I was incredibly strong. So everything is possible, and this is all about your education. This is all about growth. So when you start by unraveling what it is and being incredibly truthful about those really good times, and those really bad times, what skills you had that perhaps you didn't like that you could incorporate, those ones that you're really good at that you can really incorporate. And then you think about what education do you need to get to the next stage. And some of this you can do as you're going along. I mean, I still look like a scared rabbit in videos, but I'm not going to stop it, because I know that if I waited until I was perfect, I'd never do it. I'd never ever do it. Anyway, those are just really short things and just a few questions that you can start with, so you can say, what niche am I in? So I use now the Builderall affiliate marketing program, and the only reason I'm finding that is because I went looking. I'd created my business and I realized that there were so many other people that were looking for other businesses, and I'd managed to, with the help of my partner, put my website together, put my autoresponder together, put my webinar in place, an evergreen webinar in place. I built a membership site, created my Facebook following, done Facebook ads, retargeting, the lot. So I'd created this business, and I was showing all these people how to find their purpose, taking through them the personal development, those really deep questions that take a long time. So this is just the beginning. This doesn't have to be forever, but give yourself the space to grow. But now what I'm saying is, my next phase is this affiliate marketing program, because I want to share this with you, and I'm sharing it with you as I'm documenting this. I'm carrying on, and I'm sharing it with you because I want to, and because I know that with something like that, the world will be a better place. If I know that somebody can start their own business and cover the cost of their own business while they're learning. 10 years ago, I know, well, I started online 5 years ago. I'd started the business process a long time before that, but I never thought I'd be on the online world. So this is part of the education. You learn as you go along, but I'm just trying to quick start you so that you can start this process. So find your center stage. What will you share on the global stage? What's your passion, and where are we going to go from here? But you have to do the work, and the work is with yourself. Whether it's on the bus, the train, in your car, think about it. If you do, I have a meditation, but it's a very girly meditation from my women's part. I can give you a link to that. Do let me know and drop a comment on the bottom, but or send me a message. That's fine. But what do you think you can do? And please don't say you can't, because if I can do this, I had a hole in my head, debilitating, disabling disease. I was a single mum and working when I could. So if I can do this, you can too. I promise. I'll see you in the next video when I take you through your stairway to success. You'll show me the money map. See you later.